In class, you guys decided that your favorite way of finding the area of a regular polygon, like this hexagon, was to divide it into triangles. Then the area of this regular polygon would be equal to the area of any one of these triangles times 6. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So if we can find the base and height of this triangle, then 1/2 times base times height will be the area of one of them, and the area of our polygon will be 6 of those. So can we find the base and height of this gray triangle? In all these problems, it's going to come down to a certain number of triangles, 1/2 base times height. And to find the base of the triangle and the height, we're going to need to use trigonometry. It might be a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and if it's not, we might have to use SOHCAHTOA. But in any case, we need to use a right triangle, and we need to know how many degrees these other acute angles are in a right triangle. So there's a couple ways of figuring out what these angles are in every one of these problems. You need to choose which one you're most comfortable with. One way is to focus on the central angle. If it's a regular 6-sided polygon, there will be exactly 6 congruent angles in the center. So we can find the center angle by dividing a full 360 by the number of angles in the interior. That means each of those interior angles is 60 degrees. And so if this gray angle is 60 degrees, then if we cut it in half with this altitude, we'll have 30 and 30. And if that's 30 and 90, then this is 60. Another option you have for figuring out the measure of these angles is to focus on the interior angles. If this polygon has 6 sides, then there will be 6 congruent angles. So do you remember how to find the measure of the interior angle of a regular polygon? Well, one way to find the measure of each interior is to first find the measure of each exterior, because that's always just 360 divided by the number of sides. So if the exterior angle is 60, then since these two form a linear pair, this would have to be 120. So each interior angle is 120, and so for our triangle, we had to take that 120 and divide it in 2, and that gives us a 60 degrees. And then we know that this has to be 30. Finally, the other way to find these angles on the inside that we have to find is by finding the measure of the interior angle with this formula. So 180 times the number of sides minus 2, which in this case is 6 minus 2 or 4, is 720. If that's the sum of all 6 interior angles, then we can divide it by 6, and we'll get the measure of an interior angle, which is 120. So each of these interior angles is 120. So this gets cut in half, and that's how our triangle gets a 60-degree angle. Those are the 3 ways. You might rewind this video and decide which one you like best. I know which one I like best. Which is the way that you'll use? All right, to review where we're at so far. We're finding the area of a regular polygon, and we can divide this polygon into 6 congruent triangles. So finding the area of the polygon means finding the area of 6 of the triangles. Each triangle's area is 1/2 times base times height. Remember, the base is the entire distance. It's not just the right triangle that we'll be working with, but it's the entire distance. All right, so we need to find the measures of the angles. So choose one of those 3 ways and determine that this is 30 and 60. And now we can find the base and the height. Since this is a 30, 60, 90, I implore you, practice your special 30, 60, 90 knowledge. The easiest angle to work with is the smallest one. But we don't have the smallest one. If we did, we would just double it to get the hypotenuse. So we'll just take half of 10, and we'll know that this side is then equal to 5. That means if this is 5, this is 5, and the base is equal to 10. So let's come on over here and put a 10 in for our formula. Well, we know that in this 30, 60, 90, when you know the smallest side times root 3 will give you the long leg, in this case the height. All right, so the height was 5 root 3. the area of our polygon will be 6 triangles, where each triangle is 1/2 times base times height. 1/2 of 10 is 5, and 5 times 5 is 25. And now 6 times 25 is 150. So our final answer (150√3). So that's the exact answer, square inches. And if we round it to the nearest tenth, it's about 259.8 square inches. Be sure to view some of the other videos as you continue developing your confidence in doing these types of problems.